We've assembled teams from the best of Australia's car building and car tuning workshops to see who can build the toughest street monster. Our teams will go head-to-head in a final fuel-burning rubber shredding competition. It's time to get down and slam the C10 with some airbag suspension. But all is not going to plan in Brisbane.
Hey, we're looking, Bretto.
Not looking too good actually. It's a little bit out of square. Probably from that bit of damage that I've got.
We decided that the original frame wasn't going to cut it. We'll just build a new frame. So we CAD designed a frame, transfer that into the plasma table, cuts the plates, the boys weld the plates up, and we just got new rolling chassis ready to rock and roll. Obviously the body mounts all stay in the same position because the body mounts are fixed in the body. So we use the old frame purely just to check the body mounts are in the correct location, and then we took all the measurements from those body mounts on the frame. We have modified some of them. Once we squared all the front sheet metal up with a few shims, we added that, and then we actually lifted the body mount locations on the new frame.
We're running the tubing pretty much inboard from the chassis rails, so we can tie the cab mounts, body mounts, cross members, suspension, all that sort of stuff into it.
We've raised the frame up so it sits up higher and sits level with the seal on the underside. We've cut the hole in the middle of the tub where the notch protrudes through the tub section. We gave ourselves about 10mm clearance, so hopefully it's pretty tight when it comes down into final position, so the sheet metal just rolls up over the notch. All that's going to get covered in. Yeah. You don't even see any, but all the prettiness gone. For the diff, we decided to go with a sheet metal housing. Competition Engineering supplied the housing. It's a lot narrower than our standard notchback housing, therefore allows us to get the bags in further and in the correct location to have enough chassis clearance. We're using Slam Specialties airbags, front and rear. These are an RE7, meaning it's a 7-inch diameter. They run an internal bladder, and as the bladder shrinks, the outside still stays the same diameter. That's the total overall diameter. It doesn't change whether it's expanded at full lift or whether it's shrunk down to low, sitting the chassis on the ground.
We're just getting the body back on the chassis here. We're going to settle our door gaps. We're going to check all the alignment, mark out all our fuel lines, air lines, and things like that. The body will get pulled off the chassis, put on a jig. The body will get body worked, and the chassis will get worked, so we can work on two things at once. This is my passion. That's what I love to do. Everyone here is the same as me. We live and breathe it, so it makes a good work atmosphere. So we're just fitting all the engine bay panels in here. These are Clecos. They allow us to pull the panel on and off in the exact same spot while we do all our filing and our trimming. It's crucial to get all these gaps accurate. You can't set these gaps accurate if the panel's moving around on you all the time. They need to be set in place.
Well, we've got to get both of these gauge clusters the same, and we've just got to get all these pieces together and get them fitted in the cab so the Sparky can come tomorrow and we'll start running the wiring and all the electrical stuff on it.
Because the car's on, when it's stacked on the airbag, it's so low, the tail shaft is fouling on the floor. I've had to cut a hole out to pretty much just clear the angle of the tail shaft in position where it's going to sit once it's on the ground.
The staff we've got in-house have all got a wide variety of skills. Jake's a mechanic, but he can still weld. Dean's a coach builder, but he can still fabricate, he can still paint, he can do body work. Bretto's a panel beater, he can still weld and fabricate. It allows us to work a lot better and more efficiently as well. On the high-end fabrication stuff, Dean's really, really good at TIG welding. So, yes, we can all TIG weld. Even myself, I can have a crack, but it's not really going to be the finish we're after, not on this particular build. And on this build, we're going to leave the welds shown just to show the appreciation for the fabrication in the frame. It's not body filled over and made all pretty like a show car. It's going to be driven, so we don't need to go to that extent. But we want to show the engineering and show the quality of workmanship as well at the same time. We've made a pretty big headway on the engine bay sheet metal, finished the motor mounts, the trans mounts. We're going to dummy run all the electrical wiring, which is pretty crucial because then we can pull that out and take that to the dyno to get the engine dynoed. So it's a big stepping process. We're going to have all the fuel system at the dyno, running exactly how it's going to run in the car, so when we put it back in the car, we don't have to go get the chassis dyno done on the vehicle because we know that's how it's going to perform.
Coming up, it's all Aussie made as we head to the home of horsepower at DPE Performance Exhaust.
Our main business is manufacturing aftermarket performance exhaust. I started in 2000. I remember clearly we were waiting for the GST to kick in, and I thought, being a new business, I'll let the GST start and then just trade from there on in. I was accumulating machinery up to that for about 6 months prior, and then, yeah, we opened up straight after that. Self-taught through my dad, who's a pretty hands-on sort of a guy when it comes to any engine or sewing machine or whatever he puts his hands on, he can rebuild anything. Worked in the exhaust centre with my father, like he had a local exhaust shop. I was there for about 13 years, and yeah, we were cutting cars up and playing with them, and so learning how to grind and weld and TIG welder, MIG welder, all that sort of stuff. You probably learn more in that aspect than what you do at school, because a lot of people do the theory and trying to understand it, but practice sort of hands-on and helps you a lot better. Dad had a lot of model cars, so he used to pull the motors out of the big cars and put them into the little cars with the blowers and make up sort of stuff like that. So I was addicted to that pretty early on, which is where I think I love cutting cars up these days and making something out of them. I don't remember it, but I was taken to Calder when I was 1 year old in a pram with earmuffs on, watching jet cars of all things. My drag racing experience started off obviously following my father around. Like, he used to have a Cortina back in the day, and he had a Cleveland in that with twin turbos, and then that come out and then went to a big block, and then that come out, went to a methanol big block, and then we contemplated putting a blower on top of that. And so, yeah, I think in '89, he might have brought a top fuel dragster from Heathcote Park, actually, back at the Nationals in the day. It used to be the old White Lightning car, which was the former Jim Reed car, which was quite good. Like, I think in his third meeting, he was only about 1/10 off the record, so he got on top of it pretty quick. One thing that we decided to do probably 5-6 years ago was definitely keep manufacturing in Australia. We did look at the offshore thing going through Thailand and a company over there, but we decided to keep it in Australia and employ another few more guys to help keep up with it all. All our tube has to come from overseas because there's no local supplier that manufactures that tube. And our catalytic converters is about the only two items that we import from overseas. We do the whole thing, from cutting our flange plates to bending all the pipe to welding them up and jigging them, painting them, cleaning them, wrapping and sending them out. And yeah, it's a one-stop shop. We invested heavily into a lot of new machines, new laser cutters, put on a couple of new tube benders now, and that muffler manufacturing machinery we've put in now. Basically to keep up with the times, you know what I mean? Like, you can sit there and hand make mufflers all day, but when you can only make 30 a day and that machine can pump out 600 to 800 mufflers a day, it's quite a large variation. So that's helped us get on top of all our back orders. We've just brought in like a ceramic coating line into the shop, which complements our exhaust manufacturing side. So a lot of extractors get ceramic coated to drop the underbonnet temperature down and keep the gas speed up. We also have a billet range of products coming out, which is another thing that we're going to try and launch next year. The billet product range is through a local guy, Peter Gruber, who first designed billet products back in, I think, 2000 as well. He started off. And then he sort of sold off that company, and whoever brought it sort of let it go dormant. And we've been lucky enough to have Pete come on board and work for us full time now, and we brought some new machines and we're starting to make some new products, and yeah, we're going to revive that company, bring it back up to where it used to be. Our DPE brand's quite strong out there, but we also do work for like Tickford, which is an association with ProDrive, and same with Walkinshaw through HSV, so those companies keep us pretty busy as well as doing our own brand. Probably 3 or 4 times a week we get those emails that say, look, I just put your exhaust on, love it, can't thank you guys enough. So it's quite rewarding in that aspect, yeah.
Let's check in on the boys from Geelong Performance Centre.
So we've got Jason's VF Senator here. It's a pretty tough thing. They're a 6.2 litre LSA supercharged engine. which they go pretty good as they are. But, you know, if you're anything like myself or my customers, we want to go faster, crank them up some more. So I'm out here with Big Earl, test driving Jason's VF GTS, which we recently did some work on. It's a LSA powered beast, 6.2 litre. So we'll start with the mods. We've put a DeFilippo twin 3-inch exhaust system on it, 1 7/8 ceramic coated headers. We've fitted our own custom grind cam package to suit the LSA blower. A set of valve springs, bigger injectors. You need more fuel if you've got more boost. What else? Oh, Harrop airbox. We've done the testing on the airboxes on the LSA, and the Harrop is by far the best on the market. And also the Gilmer belt drive, which is that badass Mad Max blower whine that you can hear. Oh yeah. And this is a seriously fast car. Stock heads on it, still made 440 rear wheel kilowatts, and it is an absolute weapon.
Next up, we find out just what is going into the heart of the mighty GTHO Phase 3 tribute car.
Well, since last time, it doesn't look like much has happened, but we've done a lot of the fiddly stuff in the way of wiring in the engine bay, wiring under the dash. But as you can see, all the braking systems in, the clutch, all the wiper motors, mechanisms, all that's happening. If you don't know, this is a dual vacuum booster, which is a Phase 3 specific item. And we've also gone ahead and put all the factory decals in the engine bay, the warning labels, the brake fluid label, the do not open radiator cap label over there. We've finished off in the front, basically all the suspension. Last time it was incomplete. Now all the stub axles are on, brake discs, calipers, drag link, tie rod ends, caster rods, all of that. Got these splash trays in, windows are in, dash pads in, roof linings in, all the sunroof rails are in, Dynamat is in, wiring's been run through to the back of the car, rear window, Venetian blind, parcel tray, speakers, speaker covers, rear seat insulation, rear seat belts. Dash fascia is also been restored and installed. All the gauges have been recalibrated, the wiring on the dash, it's all plugged in, all the lights are working, illuminating gauges are working. The original floor shift has been reconditioned, that's in there with all the new insulation and rubber boot on top. Here you can see the original shifter that we're using in this car. These are the linkages that are hanging through the floor. This sponge here is the original sponge style gasket that was installed with the hump that houses the actual shifter mechanism. All the little plugs for the scuff plates are screwed down to. Interior light switches are all in the boot. The original style Masonites there. The main reason for those is to level out the boot space. Normally there's a great big cavity down there, so they were basically put in. It was all just a nice flat area. This is the diff center. It looks like the original old one in the red oxide colour. It's far from it. It's a aftermarket nodular carrier. It's got pro gears inside there. The gear ratio is actually the same as the Phase 3, 3.25. It's got a True Track in there. We've utilised the original style locking nuts on here. We've got cap screws here holding this Daytona style pinion support in. And we've also got a brand new snubber on top as well. I'm just putting this LC sticker on the shock absorber there. That's what they came out with originally, and it's part of the comprehensive decal kit that you get for one of these cars when you're restoring it. The block we're going to be using for this engine is a dart block, Siamese bore, billet 4-bolt main caps, splayed. We've got a Scat 4340 crankshaft in there, which will handle the pace. Again, I mean, we've used those in forced induction engines that have made sort of 12, 13, 1400 horsepower. Scat H-beam rods with the upgraded rod bolts we're running. Pistons, we're going to be running the JE piston. We've got a custom set made up here, JE piston rings as well. Camshaft is a solid roller, custom ground. It's one of our specs. Solid roller lifters, Crauer. They're the best, we believe, for extended duty on the street, which is what the car is. It's a street car. Cylinder heads, SCM, Scott Cook heads. They basically look the same as a factory head, but they're way better than that in every way, shape or form. They outflow most other Cleveland cylinder heads on the market, if not all of them. We've gone ahead and filled these up with some Isky valve springs, Ferrier Competition Plus valves, 10-degree locks, chrome moly retainers. We're going to be running some T&D rocker gear, shaft rockers on there. We don't have those at the moment. That's one of the things that's stopping us from actually finishing the engine. We've also got something that's pretty good, Holley Ultra HP series fuel pump, which is actually 200 gallons per hour, which is plenty enough to support the engine, and it gets you away from all the fuss and noise of an electric pump. So the car will be nice and cosy to drive. You're not going to have this fuel pump noise buzzing around in the background. As you can see, the attention to detail here is second to none. I mean, it speaks for itself. It's almost going to be a shame to even use the car.
After 36 years at Holden, Bob goes out in style, thanks to the boys at Geelong Performance Centre.
My name is Bob Dimitrievski. I'm from Altona Meadows. I work at Holden's Fisherman's Bend. I was a quality engineer, which I looked after all the customers that purchased our HFV6 engine. I started in 1981, good old VB Commodores back then. I was an apprentice where my first year I was a fitter and turner, employed as a fitter and turner, so we did 4 years of apprenticeship. The favourite cars would have been the VTs when the new shape came out. That was something special. In 2002, the new plant for the high-feature V6 started being manufactured. So that cost us $450 million to set that plant up. And it took 15 years and it finally shut down last year. So it is a celebration. I am very happy that I've worked at Holden. A few years ago, just before we shut down, I started off an idea thinking, as an employee, I would like to have a car that I can remember that, hey, this is a Holden edition for employees only. So we were trying to get a special car being built for employees. Holden came up with a reserve edition, which is basically a red line with a couple of extras and a badge to say only employees could buy this particular car. Obviously, I wasn't satisfied with all the kit and caboodle that Holden was providing. Unknown to my knowledge that Holden in the background were working on something better, which is the Motorsport. Now, this Motorsport is virtually a Chevy SS, which we export to the US. This is a unique car that has memory seats and heated seats. You will not find any other red line with any heated seats and memory seats. On top of that, they've introduced a special bushing, so it's virtually a racing car, and it's got the intercool system that racing cars have.
So this one, being the Motorsport edition, has some of the HSV options. It's got the magnetic ride control suspension. If you want to go and do track days or something like that, you can firm up the suspension just by turning a dial inside the car.
When I purchased it, I knew I was happy with the car, and I was satisfied with the LS3 engine, with the output, 304 kilowatts as a standard production vehicle. And as time came closer to delivery, I thought, no, I've got to do something special. So I've looked at the 407 pack, so I've decided to do the upgrade for the 407 pack with the Walkinshaw Performance. We
start off camshaft valve springs, fit the full exhaust system to it, finish off all the intake, rebleed the cooling system and put them on the dyno.
Mainly, I did this is purely for the exhaust note. So yes, I actually had a friend a few of my friends have done that to their cars. A few of them have put the 375 packs. So I've had the standard red line and the 375 side by side, listened to the exhaust note, and to me it's clear-cut winner that the Walkinshaw Performance kit, the exhaust note just sounds unbelievable.
One of the best sounding exhausts you can buy. The Walkinshaw system sounds absolutely fantastic on these cars. That with the camshaft gives it a nice note at idle and extra power.
Just last week when the car was getting manufactured, I flew to Adelaide with a few of my friends. There was 5 of us who their cars were built on the same day. So we all went from seeing the body shell to an end product. So it's part of my life with Holden. I just picked up my car from Geelong Performance Centre, and when we first started it there and I heard the exhaust note, I thought, wow, this is a ripper. I'm in love. I just love the car. The car is an absolute dream to drive. All the extras that Holden have come up with is absolutely fantastic. It's a head turner. So I get friends looking, I got neighbours coming around and asking, wow, what car's this? And I'm saying it's one of the last limited edition Holden Commodores to motorsport. This car stays with me until the day I die, I suppose, and hopefully it stays in the family. I've got a son and daughter who can inherit that, no problems.
Next time on Rides Down Under, we hit the track. Dirt track, that is, as the lads from HBF add some extra horses to the Everest. Things are heating up in Brisbane as the pressure builds at Superformance. Have they taken on more than they can handle? If you think you've got what it takes to be part of Workshop Wars, contact us for our next season.